bear with me, okay? This isn't a politics video. It's the opposite. Us in America, us all around the world, we want the place to be a better place. Every day we talk about stuff like, I can't believe we do this. I can't believe we don't take care of our veterans. We ask our veterans to go off and do unspeakable things, and we can't even take care of them when they come back. No matter which side you're on that, I think both of them agree that there are so many things that need to change, but every one of us think the same thing. I'm one person. What can I do? Nothing. Apart. And this isn't one of those videos where I just come in and say, we should all be together. We should, I get that, but that's not what I'm doing here. Bear with me. I know you got things to do. I don't post on here, I don't do stuff, okay? My wife tells me that nobody's gonna care about the other man or the other person. I believe people are inherently good, but basically, if this doesn't benefit you, yourself, right now, then you aren't going to do anything about it. I get that. I really do. But let me ask you this. As many of us see the power, I know, don't think I'm crazy. Let me get where I'm trying to go. But the power of AI and the power of robotics and all these things, you do see where they're going, right? They're going to replace the labor. Eventually there will be no more labor. My uncle works for Union Pacific. Those guys that make a bunch of money driving the trains, he told me, he's like, dude, we don't even drive trains no more. We're just there as a fail-safe. We don't even touch nothing. We just slow the train down. But it's got fail-safe to stop if it needed to, but it already does it all on its own. Who knows how long it'll be before they just take us off of it. I mean, I just don't know if I can properly get across what I'm trying to here, but I've had an idea for 10 years. And I think it's time that I try to push it. Here's the deal. I could never take this company that I think that we should all make, and it ain't gonna be my company. I'm just gonna guide this thing like birthing a baby, okay? Listen. Imagine every time you scroll or you go to a gas station and you see a jar right there on the counter and you see a family's house burned down, or you see a tornado that just took out a whole town, a hurricane that took out something, the flooding in the Carolinas, and you said, man, I wish I could do something, but I got $7. What's that gonna do? Nothing. But, okay, imagine, I don't want to call it a charity because it's not a charity. You could look at it that way, but the deal is, I can't stand charities because there's some good ones out there, but 90% of them, here's the deal. They work off one-time donations. They can't get much done, and that's the ones that are actually good, and the ones that are crap that make you think they're doing a lot give billions, and the countries that they say they're helping come out and say, we barely saw any of that. We saw maybe 1% of the $1 billion. So here's the issue. We can't trust charities. Even the CEO of Goodwill made like $700,000 last year. I ain't saying people shouldn't make good money, especially executives up there, okay? You know, if they made $200,000 and weren't getting stock options and driving freaking Mercedes paid for by the companies, I don't think anybody'd say anything. Ain't nobody saying they shouldn't make good money. The point is, you're trying to become a millionaire in 1 year off of saying that you're up here to do good. So, anyway, I get off on a tangent. Bear with me. Here's the deal. Imagine, just imagine with me, okay? You don't have to like it or support me or anything like that. Just give me my couple of minutes of a pitch here to tell me if I'm crazy. Imagine if we had an app that was totally transparent on a new level. With the fact that 10 years ago when I was thinking about this, there was no way that we could do this because nobody would trust it. I wouldn't even trust it if I built it myself because somebody would find a way to screw it over. But with today, we shouldn't use crypto, okay? But we can use the technology of crypto and blockchain, the way that it's unbreakable in its chain, okay? You don't have to understand this to understand what I'm telling you is you can make it so transparent that nobody could ever fool with it without you being able to see it. So you could make an app. Imagine with me that we all put $7 to $20, whatever you can afford a month, into this fund, almost like a second tax system. It's our bat signal, okay? Something's going wrong, the government's not doing its job. Here's the deal. A long time ago, they came up with our government, and I understand why they did it. We need to elect a representative to hover over districts, represent millions of people, because everybody couldn't be there at all times. They need to be involved with everything that's going on so they can make the vote and represent the interest of the majority of their people. Because back then, we couldn't all vote in real time. But today, let's be real, they could send out those bills to every one of our phones and have us all vote on it on that day, and we could decide for ourselves. There really is no need for them to vote for us anymore, whichever side you're on. Now, we could bypass that in today's technology, but apparently we're just not gonna. That's fine. I'm not here to change politics. What I am here to change is us not having a backup option. I got 3 girls, and the way this place is going, the way this country is going, the way this world going, is all the power is transferring somewhere else and not with us. And we have no way to defend ourselves, no way even financially to fight back for our own collective good. I think we should change that. Okay, my idea is this. We have an app, okay? An app is how we communicate with ourselves, with our collective, okay? What we do, we take this app. It's separated into 2 funds, okay? One fund on the left, this is how it starts, is focused on one main goal, one big issue that we want to solve first. I think that should be veteran homelessness, because everybody talks about it, everybody cares, but nothing ever gets done in a real way. We could nip that in the bud so quick if even 10 or 15% of the families in the U.S. decided to come together for our own good. Let me explain how, okay? But first, let me tell you this. One half, one goal, okay? The other half, just like I talk about that jar or that person, okay? Every person who contributes a month, even if they contributed $500 a month because they make a bunch of money and they want to help everybody, they want to help our country and our world go into a better place, because it starts here. But if we showed that it could work, everybody would join in. But secondly, that first, you can submit one thing that you think that should be focused on, okay? And it almost works like an algorithm, just like in social media, like a video does. It gets more likes, it gets more pushes, it rises up to the top. We use AI to figure out how much money's coming into that fund that month, can tell how much money should go to each project that made it to the top, past a certain threshold that gets funded, okay? Here's the difference. There's also emergency funds that can be put into place where we can vote things to the top almost instantaneously. Like when a governor doesn't want to send aid to his people and everybody's stuck behind trees and on mountains and there's no way to help them. And there's people all over the country. Maybe they have helicopters, maybe they have diesel trucks that are just sitting, but they have no way of funding it themselves. Where us as people can come together, okay, let's all go in the app. We're going to talk to each other within the app and say, okay, well, this is what we should propose. Somebody proposes it, it gets voted up, gets funded within 48 hours. It's sent over there, and then we're able to help ourselves. We take the power back. And people say, that'll never work. Nobody cares. You're choosing that for them right now. Every time that somebody says something like that, you choose that for them. Because here's the deal. It's always the few people that stand up first that create the masses. Because if people like to follow, they like to see, oh, well, look, everybody else is doing it. So once everybody else is in, the first people who stand up and say, this is the good thing, we should do this, we should come together, politics don't matter so much after that. Because here's the difference. A lot of you are thinking, oh, this is one of those schemes. Okay, well, here's the deal. We also put it into the app, into the bylaws from the laws that this is going to work on. Number one, at the top, as things get voted on, it has to go through a council, almost like a jury. There'll be a collective pool of maybe 100 people that are up there that votes will have to go through these people. Once it makes it past the certain threshold where it'll get funded, they'll have to make sure of 2 things. Number one, it's legal, whatever it is that got voted through. Number 2, it has no political motivation whatsoever that's going to benefit one side and hurt the other. Because we don't care about politics here, we care about people, okay? Number 2, or 3 actually, but this is the most important thing. Anybody who works at the company can be outed immediately by the people. See, because nobody's going to own this. We're going to own it. The people who put in have the vote at all times. If you're not participating, you don't have ownership. If you are, you do. It doesn't remain. It's almost like renting ownership, okay? The people that contribute every month have a vote, okay? If 80% of the people decide that somebody at the top should go, you're out. It can happen in an instant. So if they catch them doing something they shouldn't be doing, trying to siphon off something or whatever, which I don't think will be possible if we build this right, but if they did anything wrong, they'll be taken out. Even the very people at the top, even somebody who founds it, it doesn't matter. They can be taken out. There's going to be a threshold for the max amount that anybody can work here can ever make. There will be no stock options, no bonuses, no nothing, okay? Everything that gets done will have to have video proof that it was done. If we decide that we want to house a bunch of people in Africa, if we want to build camps of trailers somewhere to house homeless veterans to get them on their feet, somebody will be sent out to document it and show what was done and the finances that it took to get there. I don't know if you're starting to see where I'm going with this. That's the easiest part, okay? Listen, a lot of people are going to say, that's such a big problem. It's going to cost so much more than we could ever give, especially you're underestimating how much this would cost at, $7, even if we all put in $20. It's monthly. It's monthly, okay? Let's say we said, oh, well, we couldn't even listen, we could put such a big dent in veteran homelessness, and a lot of y'all are not thinking about the leverage here. Understand this, okay? If, let's say that Walmart, Target, all these places that come into small towns, okay, even car manufacturers, whatever, okay, they come into small towns, this small businessman is now gone because the big guy's here, he can sell it for half the cost and it is gone. They need us to shop there. I think everybody's forgetting how much power we as the people have. This isn't some kind of like revolution where we take over the country. All we're doing is taking back our own backbone to where like you can only push us so far. So once there's enough of us in this, we can go to towns that are losing labor force, okay? They say we need more skilled labor. We need welders. We need plumbers. We need this. We need that, okay? All right, well, we go to them and say, hey, we need you to provide scholarships to us. We hold this many subscribers. All these people are coming together to help our country better itself. We're the people who live here. We're the people who pave these roads. We're the people who dig those ditches. We're the people who pay the taxes that you survive on. You want to help us? It's okay. We can put it out that you don't want to help us. You don't want to help the people who help you. Do you understand? The amount of leverage that we could create would make it to where they would have almost no choice but to help us, help them. It's in their benefit. So once we do that, we can drastically reduce the cost it would cost us to actually fix it. We shouldn't have to do this. But at this point, if you aren't tired of waiting, then move on. That's fine. But I feel like we should start working on something now before it's too late. While we still have the power to do something like this, because we could make something that is so beautiful in itself. It would be like building. It would be like building our own Superman robot to protect us from anything that comes. Okay? Because whenever that happens, then we can also go to Walmart, Target, all these places and say, hey, you come into our towns, you take all the money. You pillage and you take all this stuff, right? Okay, how about you pledge? How about you start pledging, 100,000 a month? Once we're big, once we hit millions of people on this, they would do it. They would do it. Dude, imagine a company that's struggling with press. We're like a golden goose. We're a gift egg on the mouth. But we're also the Black Plague. Because if you didn't support us, it's not like a company that they don't support. You're not supporting the fucking people who pay your bills. Politics wouldn't matter anymore because we're all together. There is no politician that gets to vote on this. They get to decide where it goes. Do you understand? We decide. The issue is that there are no funds. There are no platforms that would let something like this go on there. They're going to call it a charity. and I definitely don't have the resources on my own. I have made, it could be so much bigger than what I'm even talking about. This could be so much more than just like some kind of fund me to help people in hard times, because it can do that, but it could be so much more than that, because you guys need to understand and look 10 years down the road when they start getting rid of all this and we have no backbone. We have no way to defend ourselves as a people when they decide to say, well, we're the corporations, we have all the money, we don't need y'all anymore, so you can go fight over scraps for all we care. See, now we have leverage because we planned ahead, and we have a massive fund that we can use to defend ourselves. Okay? If you can start to see what I'm laying down here, it gives us leverage, which we need. And it isn't something that just gets ran from the top. It gets something that has to take its direction from the people, or else those people will vote the person at the top out. Do you understand? So, what I propose, I think I need 2 to 3 people that's going to help me get the prototypes of this app built. People that are much smarter than me, because you always want to surround your people with much smarter than you. And then I've got a dream, a vision. I can build this. Oh, dude, I can build us our Alamo that we are going to be able to have to defend us, our children, our communities in a way that we cannot unless we take the power back. They use the dollar to control us. Why don't we take some of that little, they don't need to take it all. We just need enough, okay? Just enough control back where if we're backed up to a ledge, we got a little bit of something to hold on to here. I'm not crazy. I'm not some kind of conspiracy theorist, guys. You don't have to stretch to see that we need something like this. Okay? And not something that's a charity built by somebody who somebody else put them in place so they can build something. It's got to be built by one of us. So there's no back doors and no ways to avoid it. If the people want something done, they can get it done by a push of a button. The only thing I can think of is using Patreon. I need, I don't know, maybe 3,000 people that would donate $7 a month for 12 to 18 months, because it would have to fund the app, the making of the app. It would have to fund the campaign to make everybody aware of it. It would have to fund, because see, like, all we need, I think a lot of people overthink it. All we need is one good person that's a real influence. Just one. Think about if somebody like, I dare to say, Rogan. Somebody with a huge mouthpiece. It don't even have to be that big, though. Somebody big that saw what this really is. Like, hey, the people on this, so there is no hurt to me by showing this. Now here we say, oh, somebody that big would never do it because they don't, they don't want the people that are funding them to get mad. Definitely. They don't have to be that big. This could be just somebody that's a huge influencer. We could use many big influencers that are actually good people. You understand? Like, because once it starts, this is one of those things that you're going to want to tell your friends about. You're going to want to tell your uncles, your cousins about, because you're going to want everybody to be a part. It's going to be like building Skynet in reverse. We're going to have our own protection system that everybody can contribute into, and everybody has a vote, and there's no way to tamper with it. Maybe I'm crazy. Sure. I don't know, but I got 3 girls and I worry, and I feel like we should be doing something. So I've made a Patreon. I put in the link. This is my Hail Mary. So if you guys don't share it, if you don't like it, if you don't push it out, I'm a nobody with no channel. It'll never go anywhere. But I saw some guy on a mountain talk about how he moved to a mountain, make it to millions and millions of views. The very first people who see this, even if you don't have it to do right now, I'm counting on you to push it out. if you got kids, if you got family, if you understand where I'm coming from, that we should have something like this. We should have something where we have a backbone. We should be able to build it to where we can all come together. And if our structure that we were supposed to have to protect our veterans and our disabled and our people that aren't being taken care of, if they can't, then we have a second option, because right now we have nothing, which is crazy because we have the means to do it. If we all came together, we could put in pennies and fix this. But we just can't seem to see past the difference of each other to do it. I'll put the link down there. I'm counting on you. Maybe you know, pessimist, I don't know. Hopefully not.